there, welcome to Love and Waves. My name is Alix. I am a holistic self-mastery coach and also a quantum energy healer. And this is a part 2 on love. On love, this is the one thing that we are seeking so much of in our lives in some form or another, right? What is love to begin with? It is unity. It is wholeness. It is that sense of completion and connectedness to all. And it is truly the thing that we're seeking the most. But at the same time, we have this ego mind that wants everything to be separate, to identify with the concepts that we have about ourselves, the traumas that we've had in our lives, the people that are around us that we think we are better than or less than or what have you. All of these identities that keep us separate are the things that keep us from the very love and wholeness and unity that we're seeking. So it's kind of a conundrum. The mind and the body are not actually part of the wholeness of unity. Those are parts of the separate self. So in the last episode, I was talking about how we tend to project out to the people and the situations and the outcomes we're looking for in life for all the things that we do. We are looking for that unity, for that love, for that sense of wholeness, to receive that from the outside, where we're not actually looking inwardly in order to actually source the very thing we're looking for, because we're separating ourselves from it. And then we are judging it. We are trying to control it. We are manipulating it in order to give us a certain outcome that we're hoping to get. And when we don't get that outcome, what happens? We get frustrated. We get angry. We want to blame and shame and guilt. And whether this is outwardly going to the situations and the people and the things that are causing the irritation, or inwardly as shame and guilt and all the lower frequencies that really make us take on more than is really ours because we've separated out, judged, and then condemned ourselves for doing that very thing. So it's kind of a crazy conundrum, but we can move straight up and out of this with a new sense of consciousness. And how do we do this? We look at the very mirror of life that we've created, which is a projection of our inner world that we're putting out there. It's in the mirror that we tend to reach out and try to rearrange things, get things, grab and hold and keep things in order to have that sense of control. It's mine. Okay, now I can keep it and now I can feel whole. But it'll never be you because it's not you. It's trying to hold from something that's a projection, that's actually a distortion, a hologram. And you've heard these concepts. I know you have. So what if we look inwardly and we start to work on what is it I'm not giving myself? What is it that I'm actually wanting here that is somehow distorted within me that I haven't been able to tune in? What is in my subconscious? What's in the deep, shadow parts of me that I can bring to light, to consciousness? Light is consciousness, is love, is truth, is the whole of all. If I can bring that up and then have a new interaction with that, what can I learn from it? What is it showing me that I can then give to myself so that the wholeness is there, and then that is reflected in the mirror of life. So we're no longer in separation and all of this controlling needing to happen with the outer world, because it's actually reflecting something that has happened within us. Now, a big part that can be a problem with this, obviously, is that we tend to shoot the messenger, whether that messenger is the person across from us, our loved one, our partner, our children, our boss, coworker, somebody driving the way we don't want them to be driving on the street. Or if it's a situation that you're trying to get a hold of, you're trying to achieve a certain something, get a new rank, have that new thing, that new car, that new house, that new whatever, in order to hold and keep onto a new status that makes me feel better about myself. There's all of these things that, again, are the messengers. They're just the mirror showing us back. They're messengering back, if that's not a word, back to us what it is that we're seeking, right? And again, we're looking there to do it and to get it, and it's not going to happen there. So let's look at 3 main sources of this discomfort that we can start looking for in the mirror of life and mining out. And let me show you how you can then feel through these distortions that block the energy from flowing through us, so that you can start to turn back inwardly and create a new outcome for yourself, and that sense of connectedness and love that you're seeking, that wholeness, that unity that you're seeking. So first of all, we need to take a look at what is it that's happening that brings us to our attention. Some sort of a stoppage, a blockage. Energy moves through, any energy will move through you very, very fluently and effortlessly when there's no blockages or lower frequencies or lower densities to stop it. But because we have trapped traumas that we haven't processed, we have identities that we need to uphold, we have emotions that haven't been processed either, all of these distortions that keep the energy of life, just the what is that's happening right now, it keeps it from flowing through us. It stops, it gets blocked, and then it taps into these irritations that then are reflected out for us to deal with. We go into mind, and then we start going into identity, and we start judging, and then we start wanting to control, and yada, yada, yada. So the first two things to do are, number one, sit with it. Sit with the feelings you're having. Just notice it. Do not go into the mind. Because again, what got you to this place is not going to get you to a new place. So just don't let yourself go into mind, because all the mind will do is pull more like thoughts and restructure the identities that you have and keep that in form. So it's not going to solve anything. So stay out of mind and just allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. Just let yourself feel it. If you can't do it right now, you're in that moment, then make a moment later in the day and say, okay, what was it that came up for me? That was a catalyst. That was something that hit a blockage that did not want to pass through me. It made it not okay for me to be in that moment of reality. It was not just going to happen. It's there as a mirror to show you there's something that can be moved now. That's how it works. So you feel it, you sit with it, you feel, and you don't go to the head. Those are the first two things. The next thing is to start to mine out, what is it that I'm feeling here? So the feeling part of it is the feminine part of it. That's the purification of the emotion, unlocking that trapped thing, whatever that is, or that identity. What is this trying to show me is the next question. What is it that I was feeling in this is the next question. So in this case, you want to look for three kind of main things. If you're feeling a sadness, like a down feeling, or you're down on yourself, or self-abuse, those types of things, it's a sense most likely of lack. You feel that you're separate and lacking from something. Again, it's love, it's unity, it's connectedness, it's wholeness, it's all of that we really at the core feel we are lacking because we hold ourselves so separate, and we call the persons and the things outside of us in the mirror separate from us, even though it's just a projection. So notice the lack, the sense of lack. And is that really true? Can we be lacking? What is lack? There's no such thing as lack. It's a non-thing, right? There's either a thing or there's a lack of a thing, and a lack of a thing is nothing. It's an illusion. So there is no real lack. There's only abundance. So even just that as something to ponder in that moment. Am I feeling sadness? Am I feeling a lack? Am I feeling a separation from something that I want? I want to feel love. I want to feel special, right? And we talked a lot about that in the last one. I want to feel special, and I need to hold on and keep that specialness in order to feel significant and not separate. But you're not separate. That's the illusion. All right, so lack is the first thing you're looking for. Another thing is, am I looking for a specific outcome? Am I trying to hit a goal or to reach a thing or to hold on to this what's the outcome that I'm actually looking for here to hold on to not feel lacking? It builds upon itself to not feel lacking. And then beyond that, when we are looking to create that, now we're in doing mode. We're using our free will to now not necessarily go with the flow of what's in the highest and best for all. It's, I need this outcome. This is what's in the highest and best for me. And I'm going to work on this outcome so that I can hang on to that and feel whole again and not feel the lack that I feel. And so that's where manipulation and control and trying to make everything happen and the overworking and not feeling, fully whole again, right? It's like, oh, I got the car. Now what? What's next? It's desire. It's this, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? And then if we don't get that again, we fall back into lack, into pity, into victimhood. Or we get all the things and then we get into pride. And look at me, I'm extra special now. Look at all the things that I created, right? Again, all we're looking for is love, is a sense of connectedness and love. But we're playing with the mirror. We're rearranging the mirror. The last piece here is to notice the anger. When you start to move into anger and frustration and bitterness and these feelings, it's because you're feeling out of control, that you weren't able to get the thing, and your judgment turns upon itself, and then you can't own that because that's not comfortable. So we have guilt about that, but when we put it out and project that on the world, now we can get angry at all the things around us that are keeping us from our wholeness. It's madness. It's true madness. And so knowing we're not the body for reals, we're not the mind for reals, we are the soul inhabiting these things. We get to use this physical vehicle. If we can take control over the body mind, we can use this physical vehicle to be in flow with oneness, to remove the stoppages and the blockages and the identities of the ego, slowly but surely to come back into a wholeness. This is the game. This is the game. So the questions to ask yourself then, as you turn yourself back upon yourself to look for the things that are being projected, that are keeping you from feeling that wholeness. Again, non-judgment. Notice it. Just notice it. Feel the feelings. Ask your mind to be quiet about it and to not continue to identify with it and make it right, or try to find a new outcome, or feel sad and pitiful and victim-y and all of that. Just shut the mind up, sit still, breathe, focus on your breath for a moment, and then just say, I see what my mind is doing. I am powerless to stop the mind from doing this, from creating this. I'm powerless to it. Just surrender to it. Have the humility to surrender to what's happening in the moment. Allow yourself to feel, surrender to the moment, and say, okay, I'm asking for a new perspective. I command a new perspective in the right time so that I can see this differently. Because how I'm seeing it feels crappy. It's not as Source sees it, which is why it feels closure in the heart. You feel contraction, and that's telling you you're not seeing it as Source sees it. So ask for the new perspective. It's not going to come from the mind that got you there. It's going to come from the heart. And so taking that moment to do that and then release it. Just release it. Do not shoot the messenger. Do not shoot the person across from you. Thank them for the trigger. Thank them for showing them that you're out of alignment and that you need to go inward so that you can create a different reflection in the mirror. And take note also, it takes a little time to do this. We don't have as much power when we're in these lower frequencies. We have to kind of try to force these things. We're not as connected as we can be. But that grows and grows, and your power will grow. So too will the shrinking of time in linear time that it takes for your manifestations to manifest. You'll get to a place where you can shift so quickly that it's instant. The mirror changes instantly. You see a new perspective. It's a miracle. It's what the Course in Miracles calls a miracle. It's a change in perspective, seeing it differently, learning the lesson, being able to adjust. And then ask some other personal questions. What is it that I'm feeling lacking in that I am not giving myself right now? What is it that I am seeing about this that I'm identifying with that doesn't feel in alignment? Take deep ownership of your experience and what's being projected in that mirror. Ask for that new perspective. What am I giving myself? What can I give myself? If you notice that your person is not wanting to commit to you and you're frustrated because they're not committing the time and the energy to the relationship, and that's triggering you and it's hitting all kinds of blockages for you, notice, feel, take a moment, ask for a new perspective, and then also ask, what am I not giving myself? What am I not committed to for me? What am I not committing to for myself that is being reflected here? That's a serious mirror right there. If somebody is doing something that just seems irritating for some reason, what am I doing to myself that feels irritating that I'm projecting? Literally just turn it right around upon itself and onto yourself and ask for a new perspective. It is magical. It is absolutely magical. And so that's what I wanted to share today about this. I don't know if I'll continue on with this conversation. Certainly it's going to come up again and again because this is self-mastery. This is how you learn to be in any situation, any circumstance, and maintain a state of being that is peaceful, in love and wholeness and connected. And when it's not, you feel it so quickly. You feel the closure and that you're able to course correct so quickly to choose again, to choose with what's in the highest and best for all, and therefore expand and remove all of these blockages that are keeping life from just flowing through you in acceptance and being willing to just let that be, and then continuing to rise up into some of the highest frequencies of love and joy and peace and unconditional love that will completely transform your health and your relationships and everything that you do and touch in your life. It is fantastic. It is so worth doing. So I hope you got something out of this. If you are enjoying this content, please do subscribe. Share with somebody you think needs to hear this today. This felt really inspired today. Like this, whatever, comment, let me know what else you need or want. Ask your questions. I'm here to serve you. That's what I'm doing this for. So thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next episode of Love and Waves.